Victims of the Marshalltown fire who found themselves homeless after a fire gutted the 5-story hijacked building in the inner city of Johannesburg have found themselves once again relocated, this time to a temporary shelter here in Denver in the industrial area of Johannesburg. Residents who moved from this week, many were staying at Hoffland's Recreational Center as well as other shelters in the area. We have not been allowed access to the area behind us right now due to security reasons, and also unable to speak to the victims that have been relocated here. However, earlier in the morning we did manage to get a walkthrough when the South African Human Rights Commission was conducting a site visit. They, alongside with social workers as well as lawyers for the fire victims, had visited the area in the morning. They did come back later this afternoon as well to get statements from the victims. I want to bring in the South African Human Rights Commission's Zamantungwa, Mbeki. Thank you so much for speaking to us. You've managed to speak to the victims that have been moved here. Can you just give us a sense of how they're feeling and how the situation is right now inside this temporary shelter?
The situation right now is one where people are feeling a bit confused and uncertain about the plans or the long-term plans about what's going to be happening with them staying here. As you'll note, as you said earlier on, they were only recently notified that they will be moving to this side, and some are concerned about the other fire victims who are living in the other temporary shelters as well, about when they will be moving in, and if so, when they should be coming in here and what the conditions will be when they move in as well.
You've managed to walk through, and I also had a look-see earlier on.
Yeah.
How are the conditions? Can you describe to us the structures that have been constructed here?
So our understanding is that currently there are about 200 structures that have been erected. Some are for the survivors of the fire, but some are also for other people who need temporary emergency accommodation. We've also noted and spoken to those who've just recently moved in now, who said they were also victims of the fire that happened in Boysens about 3 years ago, and they've been living at a hall, and they have also just been relocated this side, and that some similar people in similar situations will also then be moving here. But in terms of the structures, what we have are about, I'd say maybe 2.5 meter by 2.5 meter structures that are across this whole center. We do note that there are some toilets that have been put up. There's currently a tap, if you look at this side, and that they said that they will be also putting up another tap this side, and that later on this evening they will be putting up the lights so that the security will be able to do its job overnight. So that will be what the Commission will be monitoring, to make sure that these services are provided. But also when you look at those who've been moving from the shelter, their clothes and some of their personal possessions still remain on the other side, and we're very concerned about the fact that maybe their identity documents are left there without anybody tending to them, and the potential theft of those. So those, we are in communication with the Department of Human Settlements, who are managing this project, to allow them the opportunity to go that side to collect them some of their clothes and personal possessions.
And from the residents here, what are their concerns with regards to staying here? Are there any concerns from their side?
No, it's mixed emotions. There is a lady who said that for her this is a better opportunity than staying at the hall, and this is somebody who was not a survivor of this fire that we're talking about. But for her, they were staying in the hall for 3 years altogether, 13 families with males and everything. So for her, this presents an opportunity for privacy. But for others, as I said, it just brings uncertainty. They've never lived in a situation like this. At the current moment, they were staying here overnight. It was dark. They were only provided with candles. So they're very uncertain and anxious about what is going to be happening as they are being integrated with members of other communities as well.
Thank you so much. That was the Human Rights Commission speaking to us here at the Denver temporary shelter, where victims of the Usindisa fire, which took place in August this year, have been relocated to, but also, as you heard, victims of a fire that took place 3 years ago, where those that were displaced were living in a hall for almost 3 years, have also now been relocated here. There's still a lot of unanswered questions with regards to how long this process and this community will be in place and erected for, whether this will be a formal community that will then be created here, or whether this is a temporary space before housing is allocated to those that have been displaced.